Welcome guys, this is week 1 Matlab tutorials, and for starters I'm just going to show you how to open up Matlab. So if you go Windows R and type Matlab in, it should pop right up as long as you've downloaded it onto your computer. If you have not downloaded it onto your computer, I would do that. Otherwise this is not going to work. The second thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a folder which all my files will be saved in. And say new folder, and I'm just going to put Mark again. It's good to show you step by step what to do. Some people don't know how to create a folder, and I don't expect you to know. You're just starting out. I hope you knew how to create a folder though. That's kind of important. So I changed my directory up here. I could go to desktop, and then I could just double click Mark. And now I'm in that folder. From here, I'm going to teach you guys how to. No, I'm not teaching you guys how to do anything. I'm just telling you about the command window. Here's the command window right here. This is going to be like the display on a calculator. You're going to type all of your codes that you need, like easy codes that you're not really going to create an M file for. Some that you just don't know off the top of your head, and you're going to use like a calculator, like 790 divided by 18. It's 43.8889. Nobody knew that off the top of their head, and that's what we're going to use this command window for. Just quick calculations. If we're going to be doing some real coding, we're going to have to open an M file, and I'll get to that after I talk about the workspace, current directory, and the history. So, the workspace. That's okay. You know what? No, let's do this. So the workspace is used to hold all our variables that we have. So our default variable is going to be ans, and if I say 5 plus 5, I have a default variable ans. I can assign variable names, and the naming convention is the fact that it needs to start with a letter, and it can only contain numbers, letters, and underscores. So those are for variable names and for your M file names. And so if I created the variable mark is equal to 10, that's legal. I'm allowed to do that. I cannot create one mark because it needs to start with a letter. I can't say mark plus is equal to 10 because it can't have any operations in it. It can only have numbers, letters, and characters. So I can say mark is equal to 10, and over here everything is going to be stored for me. All my variable names. I can say v is equal to 7. I could say just gibberish right here is equal to 100. I cannot say this gibberish right here dash more gibberish is equal to 10. I can't do that. I hope you guys understand why. Because of this dash, we can only use letters, numbers, and underscores. And you will be tested on this. Being a little facetious, but it's going to be worth points. So just know that it has to start with a character, a letter, and it can only be numbers, letters, and underscores forever. That is the workspace. The command history. If you don't see a history tab right here, you need to come up to layout, go down to command history, and docket. This will show you all the commands that you have put in. You could also press inside of your command window, you just hit the up arrow, and it'll scroll through all the commands that you previously entered. So that's the command window, that's command history. We covered workspace. Here's something cool with workspace. You can clear the whole thing. Then you could clear the whole command window with CLC. Sometimes you want to keep a few variables that you need, and you want to discard all the rest. Let's say I just want to keep v. I could say clear mark and x. and all that's left in my workspace is B. Workspace, that's important. Directory history, opening the editor to save M files. So our editor is what we're going to be using for the majority of this class, and I definitely recommend you guys using it to take notes as well. Or you could use the diary function. I should show you the diary function right now before I do this. At the beginning of each class, whenever you're taking notes, or if you're following along with me right now taking notes, you type diary and you save it as the date 1-20-2017. I wonder if you could save it like that. I know it's against all naming conventions, but it doesn't save as a variable or an M file. Nope, you cannot save it like that. The naming conventions still hold. You have to save it. I'd say notes 1. And you'll see notes 1 pop up right here. And it's much like your command history. It saves everything that you do. You can say x equals 10, y is equal to 13. Randomness, and you could go on for the entire class, and when you're done, just type diary, and it's saved. Now you have these notes right here that you could save to a PDF, or I'm sorry, to a USB, and you have your notes, and you can give them to your friends. You don't have to do this move, where you come over here and you copy and paste, and nope, it's all saved for you right here. Everything, including all of the errors that you had. So the diary, that's a cool little function, and I recommend that everybody does it. If I want to get rid of my diary, I don't need that right there. I say delete notes 1, and now it's cleared from my current folder. But I want to show you guys how to set up an M file, and we are going to do our first code. So everybody follow along. You say edit. There's 2 ways to open up an editor. I'll show you both of them right now. One is to say new script, and you're in an editor. The other way is to say edit, and it pops up an editor. The way that I like to do it is to say, I'm going to close all of this right here. The way that I like to open an editor is I say edit, and the name of my file, which I'm going to name it Hello World. And I wonder what we're going to do in this file. It's going to ask me, is it okay if I create it? And you say yes. And automatically we have hello world.m, and it shows up in our current folder. The only reason I like this more than going up here to new script is because you end up writing all your code, and then at the end it's going to ask you, when you try to run it, it's going to ask you to save it. I just took care of it down here. So our first code is going to be hello world. We're going to say display hello world. And then let's write a comment. This code displays hello world to the command window. And it's also good practice to put CLC, which clears our command window, clear, which clears our workspace, and close all, which I will show you just in a second what close all does. And so from here, we come up here and we just push this run button. Now I always push F5, however in the videos I'll come up here and push run so you guys know exactly what I'm doing. And just like magic, on the command window, it runs. It says hello world. Now there's a lot of ways that we could have messed this up. Usually codes aren't running the exact way you want them to the first time. So let me put an error in here on accident, just to be silly, so I can show you what's going to happen. You get that ridiculous sound. and then you get error, hello world in line 2. You come over here to line 2 and you see, yeah, I messed that up. It should just say clear. You rerun it, it says hello world. We have just created our first M file. Gosh, that is exciting. Let's talk about turning this M file in. Let's say this is for points. It's an assignment of some sort, and now you need to post it to UNM Learn. How do we do that? Well, let me show you really quick. Let me open up Learn, and I'll show you where to post them. So I'm here in UNM Learn. I'm under Demo User. This is the instructor's view. Well, this is the student's view that you guys see. And you come over here to course information. You go down to the assignments. You see assignment 1. This is not the assignment 1 that I did. It's going to look like this for you guys. It's due on the 28th, just a heads up. Now let's say that I went through and I did the entire assignment, and now I'm ready to submit it. Come over to my computer, say browse my computer, and luckily I already had hello world popped up, but usually it's search your desktop to where your folder is located. Click on the folder that it's in and click on the M file, and you just submit it. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Let's go back and see what else I need to cover. Names. I think I covered the names already. I told you the naming convention. It has to start with a letter. No, let me just close out. It has to start with a letter. I know. There we go. It needs to start with a letter, and it can only contain numbered letters and underscores. That's the naming convention. Assignments. How to assign a variable. So our variable names are going to be on the left, and our values that we're saving them are going to be on the right. X is equal to 5. You can't say 5 is equal to X. 55 is equal to X. You can't do that. You can't say 5 is equal to X. The name of the variable needs to be on the left. Mark is equal to 10. This is Matlab, and we deal with matrix here. Let's say matrix is equal to 1 through 5. Let's say mark is equal to 6 through 10. If you come over here and look at it, it gives us all the information about mark and matrix. The value, the size, and if you right click it, you can see the class, which they're all double. You can see the mean, median, mode. You have all these options that you can select. I usually just see these are fine. Yeah, name, value, and size. And you could do mathematical operations with them. Now our math operations, let me show you, are plus, minus, multiply, divide, and to the power of. And so here we could say 5 plus 5, that's easy, 5 minus 5, 5 times 5, and 5 divided by 5. We can do the same thing with mark. We could say m is equal to mark times 2. m2 is equal to mark divided by 2. You see that it goes element by element. You can say m3 is equal to mark minus 3. m4 is equal to mark. Now here's where it gets tricky to the third. We need to put a dot right here because we're not doing matrix multiplication. I just want every single value in mark to be to the third power. And don't worry if you don't understand, it's just important that you're getting used to typing all these commands out and seeing them pop up on the workspace. And how about we clear a few from the workspace? Clear everything but X, right? So if you don't understand yet, it's okay. It's might be a little overwhelming for you. You're okay. For the dot operator, for now, just know that we will always say dot times dot divide dot to the power. Sorry, that's not a dot. And the reason that we do this is because this dot represents element by element. Otherwise, we're doing matrix multiplication, which means that the inner two dimensions must meet, which means a 1 by 3 needs to be multiplied by a 3 by 1. And let's do that really quick. Let's create a matrix 1, 2, 3. Let's multiply it by a 3 by 1. 4, 5, 6. 32. 1 times 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6. If you don't believe me, 1 times 4 plus 2 times 5 plus 3 times 6. 32. If you guys need help with matrix multiplication, I advise you to look it up on YouTube. There's a ton of videos out there that do a great job, and some that you should have already reviewed. I think that's it, guys. That's all that we have to do. I recommend that everybody does the examples in the back of the book, in the back of the chapter 2. Please read all of chapter 2. It would be really helpful if you guys went page by page and did every single example. It would really help. Alright guys, have a nice one.